Live. Hello. It's
Hello.
it's the SPF podcast. Um, Carter is doing the he's doing his job defending civil liberties. So I guess I can't hold that against him. We've got a great guest host today, though. We've got Michael. Michael, say hi.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Michael. I'm Masterkoga in this draft.
I don't know why I was wearing those.
I mean, they're essential.
I know.
And I believe we're starting with my match here.
Yeah, we're gonna be starting with your match, but before we get to it, I just wanted to, since this is your first time on the show, just wanted to know how you feel about your season. You went like 5-2 or something.
Yes, I had two losses in the main season. I felt like I learned how to use my team a lot better going forward, especially through my losses. When people picked me apart, I was like, okay, there's a big hole there. I got to work on patching these up.
Mhm.
And I feel like I'm still learning them a little bit, and I'm kind of excited to see if I can evolve further in the playoffs.
Who's your favorite guy on your team?
It's hard not to say Alolan Persian because I often name him Peach after a cat I care for very deeply, and he performs quite well. He does his job.
All right. So tell us about this is winner's bracket. Um, James was I think, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys are like the 3 and 5 seed.
I actually don't know, but
Yeah,
I
it's in the bracket here. Yeah, it looks like you're 6 seed. He's
six.
the
Okay.
3 seed. How'd you approach going into this game?
I was terrified every time I looked at James' team compared to mine because I try to bring one of my big old tier twos like Chandelier
Mm-hmm.
or Crocodile, and we start to see each of them has five, six weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
Everything on the team eventually like has a coverage move. It can knock it off. It can. I was really worried about bringing Orthworm into a bunch of low kick type stuff, so I tried to bring my guys with just not that many weaknesses, and I tried to give them each a tool to hopefully swing it my way.
Yeah,
That's about the best I could go for.
and James is running a lot of the tier fours here. He's got the Gabite, the Chimecho, the Luxio. Interestingly, no Kilowattrel. Probably assumed that, like, well, yeah, it eats Intimidate from Crocodile, but then Crocodile just smashes it with something. But yeah, without without his Tailwind setter, you got to assume that, like, something, either this Chimecho's got Trick Room, or he just believes that he can beat you down. Let's get into it. Um, so yeah, this was the first playoff match. It was a pretty hype setup.
I immediately
Get the sleep immediately
get the
instead of
sleeve.
instead of setting a Tailwind. Yeah, you're already faster than both his guys. There's no need to set a Tailwind. Um,
I was pleased to bring Persian knockoff. I don't always do that. I knew there was a good chance I'd be fighting an Eviolite user in some capacity, and I really did not want to launch Thunderwave into a ground type, so that was my thought there.
yeah, and yeah, so then you're positioned really well here. The parting shot helps generate some advantage. He does get the turn 2 wake up, or no, it was a turn 3 wake up.
I did manage to see what item was on the Scrafty too, which was very important to me. I don't have a Frisk user on my team, so
Mhm.
that's especially in match one. I wanted to see kind of what he was up to because he's pretty good into my team.
Skitter Smack's interesting tech.
That was, I mean, you can take Gunk Shot for grass types, but I thought maybe it's going to be launching a special attack at my team, especially.
Yeah, but also it's good. It's good in the Kilowattrel, which again didn't come, but like, yeah, you activate his competitive and then get it right back down.
I'm
Although you
just
probably just rock slide it, now that I think about it.
it's
But it just, like, it covers a lot of switch-ins. It also beats down this Sceptile a little bit.
I was finally able to break that substitute. Took me the 2 hits. I wasn't too pleased about that, and then wasting this turn here.
It's not a
Ah,
waste. If I don't think faking out into a protect isn't a waste, because if he's protecting, it does this functionally the same thing you wanted to do with the fake out, unless he's, like, sashed.
yeah, he does build. Oh, so there we see with the lowered special attack there, and
Doesn't kill.
uh, not to. I don't know if it comes up in the match, but it is an assault vested crocodile. So
Yeah. This is the switchingest match I've ever seen from
this
two
one,
people.
this was a slugger. I was sweating.
You both, because you both are rocking strategic intimidates. So you're just kind of letting them rip, knocking off everyone on the
Yeah,
squad.
I wanted to see what was up there. I drop a tailwind. I don't think that was necessarily the play there, but
Yeah, you probably didn't need a tailwind because you're already faster than all this guy. His guys,
yeah.
putting the Dragalge to sleep maybe was the play there, but still,
We do see an unfortunate consequence of the tailwind was is that
Ampharos is faster.
I believe that I'm slower later and it causes some issues, but we'll get into it. This
Whoa. The Terra Dragon right before you Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam is funny.
yeah, it was
Removing the neutrality and gaining a weakness. Tough break for James there.
no flinches on the rock slide there, which I don't wouldn't have been a huge difference. So I'm glad I didn't scam even further. There, I could have protected, and I think I was faster than these two guys, even without that tailwind coming up. One of them was paralyzed first of all, and I think in an earlier turn,
Mm-hmm.
I may have outsped uh, the Volazak. I didn't know that at the time. I was rattled out of my gourd, honestly, after all those turns of switching out. So I chose not to protect it, and James takes it on game one.
Yeah, it was a real back and forth there. You had him on the ropes.
I did. I felt like we had each other on the ropes through this entire set.
Yeah.
It felt like we were threading a needle a little bit. Here, I opted to go for the raw fake out because I knew it didn't have a covert cloak.
Here it comes. Here comes
And
the. So I just have a brief story.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, feel free to pause it if you need to.
No. This is fine. The covert cloak was smart on his part there. I ran into an Alolan muck on ladder the other day, and he had like an Arboleva support and all this stuff just to keep him like getting healed every turn while he minimized and
Ugh.
drain punched and gunk shot it. It was an acid armored. It was the most heinous thing. And I killed his first three guys in the first like 4 turns, and then spent the next 15 turns just failing to kill the muck.
It's a lot. Through
Meteor
that
beam,
little exchange there, we did see.
the meteor beam Ampharos with the power herb is nutso.
Yeah, we got it to go off. The trick room, it's not something I was super prepared for, but thankfully I had something that could lower its own speed on the field. My guys aren't that fast.
Nice crit,
Yeah, lucky crit,
big chip.
and we do see a hit into Muck in the.
I know. Like Draco Meteor isn't even a 100% accurate move. You have
I think I'm not sure I knocked it off yet this match, but this does have a wide.
it
lens.
does have a wide lens. That is true.
And a facade getting through the minimizes again into Muck, but my guys are, I believe, just a little bit faster here. Yeah.
Yeah, Crocodile is gonna beat up Luxio any day of the week. Nice game too. Pretty convincing
Yeah.
after a back and forth first game.
It felt like maybe James was preparing Trick Room for that jump left play from game one, but since I didn't see that much from that tailwind, I opted out of it.
Yeah.
So kind of a lucky, just played into his team well. This one, I think, gets a little more rounded out.
All right, let's see it. Let's see the electric game 3.
Yeah, this.
You get the double intimidate off. He gets the double intimidate off. Knock off the Gabite immediately.
Getting rid of that EVLite.
Smart.
He's going for a Sand Tomb here to keep me trapped. It's a little bit of a rough play against some of my guys because I know so many pivot moves, but Crocodile has to stay in. He knew from last game that Muck had to stay in.
Yeah.
So it's nice that he hit it here on that switch.
So he gets that sand tomb. That is pretty smart. Nice, but unfortunately you have the sticky
hold clear amulet to prevent intimidates as I set up a lucky minimize through this flinch rock slide, which really turns the game on its head.
Really does, yeah. I don't think he's killing that muck that turn though.
It's tough because I did lose my fighting resistance by terrastalizing there, so it could have been.
That's true, but look right there, it did 19. Hang on, let's go back. What were you at?
I mean, didn't I like lower its stats again or something? What were we at?
Let's see. So you're 49. You're at 37.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it is half attack right now.
Yeah. And
that Skitter Smack was supposed to go into the other thing that I thought was switching. I predicted the wrong guy.
That's okay. But yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think I don't think that Scrafty was killing you even if he does hit there. But it
it
does.
is unfortunate
But
that
it does give you momentum. It does give
yeah,
you some
especially with
confidence.
this healing coming up here,
Hmm.
gets me closer into the like okay for another round maybe zone. The Chopeberry coming into play once more. We
Holy
saw it last
cow!
match with Persian surviving one extra turn.
I know the Chopeberry cutting that 24% drain punch into a 12%.
Yeah, I mean he was halved, and then I
Yeah.
think he gets a full turn coming up here. Oh no, I did that did all right on this one,
Yeah.
but we
Good
do see
read.
some pullback. This is the start of many Valhazak turns where it does not do what it needs to. Unfortunate, but there's the wide lens.
Nice. Wide lens gone. Drain punch. Now
Drain
you can.
punch into the non-protected target. The second paralyze. Here comes a protect.
Now you just minimize this turn, right?
I believe I punch into this and get a little bit more HP back because I knew that he had to dig his heals in and use Leech Seed eventually.
Drain punch healing on the substitute is interesting.
I mean, the health went into it, so you can pull the health out of it, I suppose.
That makes sense. At this point, you say you are performing great evil.
I was. This is, I think, turn 6 coming up where the thing does not get to use Draco Meteor.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, it just missed.
I mean, yeah, it's not 100% accurate. His wide lens is gone, and you have a minimize up.
We get the Meteor Beam just to try to get some damage. That terastallized Scrafty with the Soul
Yeah.
Vest is so tough for me.
It is tough for you, but it does seem hard to figure out how he comes back from this at this point, though. This Val Hazak is now crippled so thoroughly, and like he would need a crit. And while this Gajalaka is hard to kill, you do still have 3 dudes in the back.
Yeah, just try to. There's me. Just wondering what's going on. If we're
Yep.
getting some protects or switches, I guess.
Cripple him even more. Like, yeah, he gets the predict there, but now
Oh yeah,
he's gonna be healing less over time.
I wanted to sack the Croc for sure. The moment I noticed he
Yeah.
didn't have any guys left on the bench.
Yeah.
And I believe what we get here is a series of parting shots, which I really just wanted to go for some kidney punches, apparently, here. Get some static for free paralysis,
Yep.
and I could have just killed him this turn, but I was still, like, high on my own supply here.
And you just want to make sure that nothing like
goes wrong.
crazy happens.
Sure.
Um,
But yeah, we get to see a few extra turns maybe that didn't need to.
you did the raw meteor beam. That's kind
I was like, well, if he kills that guy, I want to have the stats for the upcoming turns, I suppose. Right. But
Nice.
I kind of forgot how weak he was at that point in the match, and finally I choose to finish him off.
Well done. You pull off the upset.
Yeah, I would call it that.
Well, I mean, seeding wise, it is an upset. So yeah, you'll go on to face the 2 seed once a peps, the Juggernaut. That'll be that doesn't need to. That's not happening this week though. So we'll be breaking that down next week. But yeah, well done. Well done. You really showed him.
I would like to thank the lucky swings that came my way.
Oh, wait. I closed one too many.
Yeah, Control Shift Tab or whatever.
No,
T.
No. I'm just gonna click a button. Aha! All right, here we go. Game 1. Once a pep versus karate. I guess I kind of spoiled this right then by showing the bracket, but sure. Here's the 2 seed once a pep versus 8 seed karate. I forget what karate's team name was. Molten Feather Berserkers. That was it. So what do you like in team preview here?
I really feel like I'm about to go to the chicken cages for an avian beatdown.
So many birds.
Yeah, and I especially once a Pep's team with the almost core of Empoleon and
Stantler.
Yeah, there's a lot to get through.
Yeah.
And he's got the interruptions to not let you get through it. So it's tough bringing in a team you're not super well rounded with.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping. I mean, we know the victor here, but I'm hoping we see some good turns out of karate here.
Yeah, the Mighty N. I think this is the first time Eric brought it. But yeah, so the Lilligant Oricorio. This is a lead that karate's used all year. The ability shield's fun because you know that the Stantler likes to skill swap. So ability shield to kind of block that and then not take away because you could see it taking the dancer thing, and then all of a sudden, oops! Now I get the quiver dance. But instead, doing this wild charge lightning rod play to
Wow.
pump the Raichu.
Yeah, this is. Oh, okay. We got some good setup going on both sides here, so I kind of want to.
Wow, I did a lot.
That
Ah,
is a big web and another wild charge. That makes me think about.
pedal dance into the Stantler there. I'm not sure about that one. I would maybe would have thrown one into the Raichu since he's the one getting boosted. Now he gets helping handed.
That's a tough situation when you don't know if your opponent's going to protect. Might have just been throwing it to try to make sure it landed.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Here comes Greninja. Matches well into this Articuno, actually, until it does that.
Okay, we got a Terrasilize and a Psychic
Roll.
Protean. Whoa, I didn't realize that was a legal move if you go to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is that? It makes it competitive as well, so that it's not skill swap because it doesn't swap them. It just copies the opponent. It's like trace.
Big water pledge there into the now Psychic type and a.
Water what? Water pledge.
I feel like I'm dreaming through these last two turns.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's it? Does he have a second pledge, or did you just not want to run a different water move? Huh. Interesting. So yeah, Once Pep takes game one on the back of Powerhouse Raichu.
Solid fake out to clean it up.
Yeah, Articuno didn't even need to carry that round. So let's see. Here comes Fezen Dippity. Just goes right out with the Greninja. Was the most effective member last time. I like the new lead from Karate, but
okay, the switch and Terrasilize. We see the sash we didn't see in game one because I think it hit about a 93% or something.
Yeah, didn't know. Yeah, so you didn't know going in that it had sash, and then your gotcha moment here turns into.
It's all protects from both sides.
Switches into the Mightyena. It doesn't have Intimidate. Wait, what does Mightyena have when it's not Intimidate? Quick Feet or Moxie?
That's a Moxie. I know that in my heart. Well,
wow.
I guess what we're about to see, aren't we?
Dang,
my heart was right. Okay.
Your heart was right. There's the Moxie.
Tailwind out. Okay. Gets a switch in on a protect turn. We got more pledging going
on. Well, you gotta assume that like either the Decidueye or the Lilligant has Grass Pledge, and you can get that. You can get your swamp going or whatever it is.
I just assumed they're both deeply devout teams at this point.
Mystic Mac.
Oh, Mystic Mac is just such a brick wall here.
God, it's so strong. It's so strong.
Oh, that's that base like 111 special attack.
Yeah, and that'll do her.
That's tough with that tailwind up that whole time for those big old bullies.
Yeah, got those really strong special attackers coming out of Once a Pep that made them almost undefeated during the season. So this is what you're up against next week. Good luck.
Yeah. I will be Marcus made some good plays there, and I think I kind of want to follow up on them. Maybe I can get in a Grass Pledge to combo.
Yeah, we'll have to we'll look at the bracket later and see who Marcus is up against, because I think Karate can wheel and deal with the best of them. So here we have the two Vancouver players, the BC Beyond versus the Vancouver Villains, BMM versus MFS Giant. Here we have my beloved Tinkaton. I love Tinkaton in doubles. It's got so many useful support moves, and it's got Gigaton Hammer for big surprise damage that has really good coverage. And then you've got the Como Powerhouse that's been carrying all season.
Always a threat.
Intimidate Mabostiff. Glamora with its base like 130 special attack or whatever it is. And then on this side, you've got a lot of beef, looks like.
Oh, there's beef here. We got the thick Intimidate from just a pure fairy type. We got Big Bug, which offers priority, that dual typing with the water bubble. And Dusknoir is always going to be, especially paired with some of these other typings, it's hard to hit it super effectively during the match itself.
Eviolite Duraludon, and then Sableye Spread and Status.
Oh, so, and the Fox is, of course, just rounding everything out with the speed and punching that not everything else offers.
That is correct.
I think.
Let's.
Oh God, this is exciting.
Fox immediately. Okay. Bad bad lead for the MFS Jan, unfortunately, because that happens. Oh, nice
And we got the
Lumberry.
Lumberry.
And you get the trick. Okay, that's actually pretty hot, but I imagine you can just wisp again now with the scarf on.
And the
Oh,
Burning Jealousy to hit both targets there. Maybe trying to catch a Swords Dance.
yeah,
A Nasty Plot from the Rotom is always on the table, I suppose.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's just good to
wanted
toss out,
yeah,
too.
just wanted the spread move. Yeah, just
Yeah.
it's tough. It's like you trick the scarf, you think you got him, but then he just keeps wisping everything. And you're like, wait, I don't want everything to be burned.
It's tough when I'm trying to trick a Scarf onto something and I realize my target would just love to kick my ass at Mach 1, and it doesn't always work out the way you want it to.
Yeah.
Okay, Mortal Spin
Now,
Poison.
now that I found was very interesting. That the Mortal Spin hits the protect, but it still poisons the ally. Which is an interesting interaction. This Terra Fairy Duraludon, it makes it's tough for this Como to deal with. I gotta imagine.
Got the Terra Water in the right turn. We got a little bit of setup. We got a Fake Out incoming.
Yeah.
Assuming.
But
for the double protect.
Double to protect just to wait that out. Eats the Como's protect when it's not setting up, so that's good. I just like how does it kill this Terra Fairy Duraludon? Like actually, like body press isn't going to do much.
It's tough, yeah. You gotta hope you got the coverage move already for fairy types, but with the paralysis on that Thunderbolt, it might be a little too tall. Yeah.
Yeah, like Poison Jab, I think is the thing that they usually take.
And it's tough because in this type of situation where you're looking at your opponent's team laser focused, you don't always think I need that coverage move because
So BMM takes game one. Sam just kind of on the back foot from the word go because of the lead, so I imagine switches it up this time. Sends out the Mabostiff, which matches well into both of these guys. Although it does, can't get Whisk because of Prankster. Okay.
That happens to me a lot still to this day. Just the other day I was like, oh, just use what? And no, they're Dark type.
Yeah, Floatzel unfortunately eats a Rocky helmet and dies. But then you get the Sableye down, so it's not going to wisp your whole team this time.
Okay, we got some water damage. Oh, I mean, whoa,
jaw locked.
Hey, you're not going anywhere.
It's crazy that was going to kill. So it's funny that they've now trapped each other. The jaw lock has trapped the Tufts.
You're not locked in here with me.
And the Mabostiff is locked in by Infestation.
Trying to get its jaws on both opponents at the same time, which is an illegal move, and that's why Protect worked that turn. Ooh, yeah, that grass Terrell. Oh, the thief.
Magician.
You're not going to make any use of that.
Yeah, but now the Glamora can't make use of it, and you can just trounce it with something.
We live in a society.
Double protecting the Fake Out again.
Very solid, slow strategy here, keeping this guy alive.
Yeah, just refusing to let this Tinkaton get any value. Encores.
Finally takes out the Fox with the Mortal Spin.
Yeah, and now this thing is encored in a Protect, which is gonna. I was gonna say would force a switch, but now it's stuck because you kill the other guy too. So if it wasn't for the fact that this Duraludon is okay. Yeah, this looks like a good position for Sam actually. The Flash Cannon's unfortunate, but as long.
That's a tough turn to get through.
That's tough because now the Encore is going to end. It only lasts 3 turns, and now it just needed one more. Just needed one more turn, and he could have.
I feel him grasping at the strands of fate, trying to make this work here.
But Mark brought Protect on every one of his guys, and and just stalled it out. Smart.
That was a edge of my seat on that one.
Yeah, that was a pretty close 2-0. So yeah, that good for BMM. We'll move on. We'll move on in the brackets.
Shipyards.
Yep. Next we had Halle Berry versus Drek the Snake, the Wet Ash Blissies, the crowd favorite, versus I know Dallas Dunsparce. There we go.
Oh, the Dunsparce.
Dallas Dunsparce had a bit of a rough season, but redeemed themselves by winning a play-in game to get here. But Hallie has an axe to grind. Every win she gets is a thumb in the eye to Carter, who we can make fun of because he's not here right now. So here in team preview, we see the hidden Sneasler
really behind that pillar.
Not Sneasler, Sneasel Hisui, yeah. hidden behind that pillar, waiting for its chance to strike, and this Crawdont, which is just so strong, but doesn't actually seem to match super well into most of this team. I don't. This Slitherwing is not actually a fire type, despite looking like Volcarona.
And it's tough because it terastallizes a
Yep.
lot too, with its move pool being
Yep.
the way it is.
So like, yeah, it's good into this Houndoom, but it's slower than everything here, and a lot of it can do super effective damage. So it maybe wasn't the smartest bring here, but Staraptor looks actually very good into this team. In fact, like I got to imagine that's the number one Slitherwing killer right there. So let's see how it goes.
Slitherwing killer.
Yeah, Slitherwing, like any Paradox.
Okay, very bulky
Yeah.
lead here.
I did so much.
Beating the first impression and a hurricane. It's tough to expect a hurricane turn one from an Altaria, I suppose.
Yeah,
That was rough losing a big guy like that.
yeah. The slow king just eats it turn one. That leech life gets it all the way back to full. It's just spamming Hurricane. I wonder if it specs.
Pretty solid Electroweb there. Terra Steel with half HP left, gonna live this leech life.
Yeah, and otherwise wouldn't have. The facade will kill.
Okay.
But you still have a Slitherwing that's just getting free damage. Oh my gosh.
Got some momentum back here.
Do you have Mach Punch to finish it off?
This is tough because
Ooh. Wow, hard
Okay.
press. That's
okay.
that's an aggressive play from the snake. I like that.
Manages not to send a single target into that protect.
Yeah.
Gets the sneak off. Okay,
That was the
solid.
first protect that the Slitherwing had done, so that was just kind of, well, maybe not. Yeah, the hard press. That's that new steel move that was added. Um, this Wug Trio, it's so strong though.
This is a tough position.
It like, let's see how much this triple dive, like, thinks that that the Wug Trio is going into the conch, but it isn't. So Hallie really gets the better of him.
Resisted with a little crit there at the end, and that Crawdont was able to do its job with the Aqua Jet.
Yeah, but there's no way. Like, this thing is faster than both of them.
Yeah.
And so strong. Bandit, I think.
With the extra adaptability ish bonus.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, Hallie wins. It is only a one nothing victory, but looked in command as soon as that Wug Trio came out.
It's tough too because lost that Slow King turn one that otherwise might have seen
Yeah.
additional value.
Yeah, so what I'm hoping to see from Drew in game 2 here is basically not bringing Crawdon. Yeah, the Slitherwing, any like Paradox Mons in this low
Clear Amulet, okay.
low tier hero format, they're so scary because they can bring booster energy to make themselves super strong or super fast. But they can also bring things like Clear Amulet to try and mitigate that, and then suddenly you're just on the back foot with their raw stats anyway.
I can suddenly only have one weakness.
Yeah.
That was a great terrestrialization on that turn.
Terra Electric was a really smart scouting job by Hallie there, recognizing that Staraptor or an Acrobatics from this Sneasel were going to be the main
turn for Wug Trio. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's a big turn.
Those would be the main way to kill the
Very
Slitherwing
nice
and
protect into that too.
Yeah. And then you get that not only the one weakness but the flying resistance.
Yeah, that's tough to break through if you're not okay.
And not needing to reveal it until this game also really helped accelerate the victory. That was a good Electroweb, though.
A very strong Electroweb. It's unfortunate it didn't quite finish there.
Yeah, the Wug Trio still being alive is tough.
And your fave, he's coming back for the win.
Oh, what? Aquajet the Wug Trio. I don't know about this.
I don't know if it would have survived against that.
That's fair.
That little bug there.
And then in comes Mimikyu anyway to just
He's cleaning up the kills, getting a little bit on that MVP graph.
little goo.
Yeah, finished out by Hal. It's tough to get through that solid core. Really feels like they know what they're piloting.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting how it was just kind of an all out offensive team. Like, yeah, you might kill one of my guys, but I'm gonna kill two of your guys because both of my guys are gonna get a kill this turn. And then yeah, this is smart play, smart team building from Hallie. Just really worked out. And yeah, that'll be the end of the season for the Dallas Dunsparce. Yeah, we get there'll be times for postmortems later, but it maybe sort of a rough season, but I liked the adjustments that they made with the Crawdon and Sneasel pickup, and then bringing them all the time and showing what they can do. All right. Next we have Riot OTF versus Coach Z420, the Leshy Lechonk versus the Karamja Whippers.
And this is a not a rematch, but they fought before
in the regular season.
pools.
Yeah, in the regular season they did fight. They fought week one, and in that Cobalion and for Alligator just went nuts. So and when we previewed this last week, we talked about how this Cobalion might just go nuts unless Riley has a trick for it. So let's see if Riley had a trick for it. So here comes like this Sand Slash came in big against Phony Spade last week with the Slush Rush
Early intimidate there. Ooh, and a Terrifier. That's gonna
and
make
the Fake Out, and so now you're about to get that
that was
was
a hell of a heat wave
that
after
was
that fake out.
crazy. Yeah,
That's tough to see coming.
with both of these guys quad week to it. It's just a real slaughter of an open play or of an opening play. Now you got to think that this Tora Cat is. Oh, I was gonna say,
Just tossing on another safe heat wave.
yeah, that's easy to do when your opponent's all ice. So this Terra-fighting Glaceon also came in big last week. It's not super effective into really anything here unless the Cobalion comes out.
Okay, well, what I assume to be like a snow veil
Oh,
mist there, but it's heat wave, so it could be anything.
Blizzard, yeah, Blizzard not killing there is tough. Like obviously it's resisted, but yeah, just gets that
Was that
damage
life
for free.
orb recoil there for that kill? Okay,
Yep,
yeah.
it was Life Orb recoil.
Honestly, this Glaceon can really punch up when it's behind. It happened to me, and it sees a lot of use.
Yeah.
I just wish I could have seen it next to that poor guy that died first turn.
Yeah, but this game was over on turn one. That Terrifier
It was a big one.
fake out Heat Wave was just too much of a crusher. So we'll see what the adjustment is here. Hitmontop comes out instead of Sand Slash. You can hold it in the back
What are we
for a
thinking
late
for
sweep.
speed tier on that fake out? We're about to see. Ooh, okay, he loses
The
it.
Torracat is faster, yeah. And then the Alluring
Big
Voice.
Alluring Voice crit.
The crit, yeah, the crit is unfortunate, but hey, at least it's not a double kill like it was last time. Although it's gonna be this
Kind of
time.
what I like. I guess it's tough to switch into a heat wave,
Yeah,
but
and you get
it's tough.
and then the second heat wave, yeah. That crit, thankfully, not mattering. The Karamja Whippers are in fact getting a lot of crits this round.
Terra Water to avoid some of this heat wave nonsense.
Yeah.
Okay, another miss.
Is he banded? Why Ice Spinner when there's two fire types in front of you?
I would have been rock sliding hard
I
in
say,
this
I gotta-
position, but he may not have it.
I got to imagine that thing can learn Rock
No,
Slide.
maybe, I mean, there you go. There's someone who doesn't give a shit about rock slide.
Yeah, Cabalion's ready and waiting. Here comes the Feraligator.
These names.
Yeah. I think
Just
this
wanted to go with a solid
I think this is
stab
Bandit or
move
something.
potentially.
I think this is Bandit or Summit.
Very big freeze dry there.
Yeah. Two. Yeah. Now it's 2-2.
We got to see if. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. This thing is. Oh, I think that
Big
crit.
Aurisphere.
I do think that crit mattered. Yeah.
It
I
could
don't
well
think
have. It's tough to know how he's
'Cause he's-
EV'd.
He tear it off. Yeah, that's true. I don't know how he's EV'd.
Yeah, he wasn't weak to
I don't know
that
what his item
anymore.
is, but he wasn't weak to it anymore. So maybe. But yeah, that's the end of the season for the ice team. I don't know if ice is a very viable format in doubles
Oh,
at this
it's
moment.
always viable for Rye, baby.
Yeah. This is unfortunately a very bad matchup for it. So
It's tough to make it through a couple heat waves when you
Sometimes
got those weaknesses. Yeah.
yeah, sometimes it's just how the bracket does ya. Here we go. I don't know why this Regirock's so shaded. It looks really dark. Maybe it's just my monitor.
He's got extra baggage down there.
Yeah. So here we have Raijo versus Brantley, the Balanleia Barbies versus Rhydon D's Nuts. We see the same, more or less the same six we usually see out of Brantley here. The Blastoise, the Rampardos that likes the Klefki Trick Rooms, the Charizard, the Tropius, and Another muck.
Yeah, large threats here. I mean, you always got to be worried. Honestly, both of these teams really swing for the fences when it's their time to shine. So I'm wondering who's going to do the swinging on which turns here.
Yeah. The Lucario looks pretty good here. The Noivern looks good in a certain matchups and kind of bad in others. Noivern has a problem with walls because it's so frail. If it can't like two hit kill something, then it gets two hit killed by basically anything.
Yeah, just any neutral.
Yeah. Basculin, that's a new pickup. That's a relatively new pickup for Joe. I think the first time they're bringing it. But it looks okay into Charizard and Rampardos. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Um,
More pet names. Everyone's doing these days.
Yeah. Got some Dark Souls on the other side.
Dark Tooth Basin, of course. Okay, big. Okay.
Man, that did way less than I thought it would. That might be an Assault Vest Tropius, unless I see it do something that's a non-attacking move. Yep, Tailwind. So I guess it's just really specially defensive.
Throwing those UVs around.
Yep.
Ooh,
Wide guard big on the Boom Burst. Head Smash missing. That's huge.
Raijo
doesn't Boom Burst. Wow.
Moves.
Hurricane.
Wow, 2 single target moves. Really, the wide guard was too wide.
The wide guard not coming in. All the Hurricane missing it after the
Tough move.
after the first miss was kind of funny. Yeah, this is a wacky first game. The Tropius sticking around to cause trouble.
Making a mess of itself. Yeah, that's some
Citrus Berry, and it can get this.
beef.
Okay, smart. That's probably worth killing because it can get that Citrus Berry back. The Dragon Pulse not doing very much. The Charizard is
thoroughly neutered from that overheat.
Yeah.
Okay, we get a confuse on the muck.
Yeah.
Another miss. This is a tough one.
This is a very high variance.
And the
game.
minimize,
Here it
which
comes.
was allegedly inspired by my match.
There you go. Well, they are the same Pokemon with a very similar move set. Okay, this is a bit much, says Joe on turn 6. Yeah, like I said, Noivern has a problem with fatties, and Muck is nothing if not a big fatty.
Even confused, especially with those Hurricane misses and the Leech Seed, your time is basically down for the count.
Yep. So
especially with that priority
there.
Yep. April Fool's RNG.
Joe had the early momentum, but Bran holds on to take game 1, and then game 2. Leads with Lucario this time. Actually, I don't think he brought it last time.
Big Terrifier, just really trying to rip the hole in the team to prevent any switching.
Wow, that killed.
Take out, yeah. That seems like a big play.
Blow the Terra. You got the momentum firmly.
With the eject pack into Muck, the bulky boy, while tailwinding. Wow.
Yeah, eject pack overheat is awesome tech. I love stuff like that.
Another minimize while the targets get thrown around at the other.
Yeah, sure. The Stone Edge might kill a Charizard here, but
it's
continuing to minimize. Oh.
Poison touch.
Getting that poison's good. Interesting. Electing not to kill the Charizard there.
Body slam. An interesting tech into minimize specifically. It has 100 infinite accuracy against a minimized target, and I think that's the only benefit. Oh, it does double damage.
That's good. That's good to know. I did not know that interacted that way.
I believe.
I don't know the minimize tech very much.
I think Stomp does something similar, but a little bit less wieldy of a move on that one.
So who's the last one for Brain? Because that's going to determine whether or not this is over. Okay. Slow guy, weak to... Wow, not as slow as I thought.
By slow, we mean fast.
Is that scarfed? What the hell? That was wild. I did not...
I wasn't keeping track of the speed tiers just now.
See.
But
121, Basculin, 165. Yeah, I think that's a scarfed Rampardos.
Scarfdos.
That's big because you look at that. You look at this turn before that. You look at that turn before that happens. And this looks really good for Joe. And then
this looks big.
And then the Scarf Rampardos just one-shots this with its, base 145 or whatever attack, and then
even though you're able to take out the minimum. See, that's the nice part about having that minimized Muck is I do have other Pokemon on my team. So the more time that gets sent into it, it's not like you can't kill it, but it helps.
Yeah. So Bran pulls off an upset, takes down Joe. My bracket has been destroyed because I had Joe making a deep losers run bracket, but that's okay. Congratulations to Bran.
And goodbye
Yeah,
the faithful Raijo.
yeah. The Balonlea Barbies had a really good season, going 5-2. It did not expect a one and done in the playoffs, but that's the thing about playoffs. It's anything can happen, and everyone's good at Pokemon.
Yeah, one of my personal faves, just like on the draft sheet. Like I loved what I was seeing from Raijo. But let's not talk about this.
Yeah,
We gotta talk about Double Rock Slide versus Flaccid Panda. This is huge. You know, both people are gaming out of their brains and they want to win.
yeah, and they played in the last game of the season, right? And Carter won.
Okay.
Carter won that game, but he said in the preview last week that like both of them were kind of holding their powder because they knew that this was the most likely round one matchup. So
they're always thinking about their future matches as well as their current one, but they're still able to like keep it together during that, and it's really impressive to me.
Yeah, so now we get to see all the techs come out. Now, Casey here.
A fully evolved team. This is someone who knows what he's doing with very strong picks.
This is a ridiculously strong. Like this team has Shroodle, and this team's weakest Pokemon is Squawkabilly, a fully evolved Pokemon with Guts, Intimidate, or Hustle, and Tailwind and Brave Bird.
Not that I accept the Shroodle slander, but it is tough to look at and see those that when you're looking at that other team.
Yeah.
It's...
I mean, there's a reason that Casey was undefeated until the last week when he lost to Carter. So yeah, let's get into it.
Big Auk and Big Caboose ready to be what I can only assume James Rigg playoffs and Aurora / Buddies.
Casey, what are you doing?
Always good at poking the bear.
Just the antagonizing team.
Huge fake tears into eruption. How much is that going to do?
Holy cow! It did so much, and that Scorching Sands did so little. And the Scorching Sands can't burn. It can't burn.
I'm assuming that's just like the Magmar's only non-earthquake ground option or something.
Right. I don't know if it gets earth power. I'm not sure. Magmar's move pool is very vast. Here comes the Tauros. Notably, no Intimidate comes out when the Tauros comes out, so you got to assume that this is Anger Point unless he's got some crazy Cudchew, Starfberry, or Salakberry type deal going on here.
If there's anything I know about Casey is that he's willing to leave EVs and items on the table and not use them at all, so maybe he went with no ability as well. Big bullet punch there into a failed fake tears. Was that a clear amulet play? Okay.
That's clear amulet. Clear amulet's coming in big this season. A lot of people are running the clear amulet.
I mean, it's solid. If you know one of your guys is going to get his butt kicked by just the ability of the other guys, you can at least kind of sack an item. I feel.
Yeah. I think most people have a cheap intimidator on their team, and so clear amulet on a guy you don't want to get intimidated is helpful. Yeah. So. Just kind of cleans up here with that, like that opening eruption play on the fake tears really set the tone. So let's see how Carter adjusts.
Big
kick. Gastrodon immediately because
Gastrodon's back.
Matches into the shed shell. Reveals a shed shell, which is interesting. Wonder what that's for. Queenly Majesty to block the fake out.
Very solid.
That's a great play. One shots the Gastrodon, which is also crazy.
Terra fighting. Close combat.
Yeah. Let's because I don't even think it's Terra fighting. It is Terra fighting, right? Terra fight, blocks the fake out. Terra fighting close combat. One shots the Gastrodon, which is crazy.
Big play. Immediately switches it out. No pressure allowed except for mine. Pretty big seed, but I guess
that high jump kick did a lot.
Yeah.
I would have liked a bullet punch into the Articuno there. Now you've killed nothing and you're
big knock. Okay. Another flame body play. One of the reasons Flaccid Panda was able to take it the first time, flame body goes away from a Lumberry.
Yeah, learned his lesson. I gotta say, this is a side note. I'm a little salty because I brought Moltres every single week, and I don't believe its flame body is activated once in this season.
Really?
Yeah.
That's tough because I brought flame body once and it worked.
Hell yeah. And and then Scizor and a Typhlosion not gonna do the job. So
couple tough turns there where you lose a quarter of your team and you're still looking at Casey's full team. Double Rock Slide says, I don't know if you're gonna make it through this one.
Like even just this, these two tier 2s of the Typhlosion and the Screamtail together are just like so tough, and then a lot of the things that can counter them get beat up by this Tauros or this Articuno.
And
So
with that Frisk on such a solid Pokemon that you're sending out so
mhm,
often, you really learn a lot about a Pokemon
yeah.
and its team through the 2 or 3
Yeah, I
games.
mean, and just this Scarf Eruption has been doing wonders for him all season. All right, and then we come to our final game, which happened like what 8 hours ago.
Oh, it
Um,
happened.
yeah, it did
This
happen.
this one I for sure have not seen.
Well, cool. So I will
Yeah, what?
I will say
Tell me about this.
first of all, let me just say that that Tyler had a very busy week organizing a brawl tournament at Beak Bonk 2024. It was a great time.
Hashtag BeatBonk 2024.
Hashtag BeakBonk 2024. It's in the game. That's not the slogan. But so he didn't have a lot of time to put his team together yet. He's an extension. So I definitely had the prep advantage in that I had a lot more time to consider things like the fact that his team has a lot of physical attackers, which you can see here. The Passimian.
Yeah, I'm looking at what to be just 5.5.
Yeah, like there's so I'm just gonna spoil that more or less every single one of these guys has some type of defensive investment, except I think the Mismagius, which is Specs.
Solid.
And this was brought in case he brought Hypno to set Trick Room. So I'm gonna lead off with Moltres Swanna. I really like this lead.
Giant metal
That's great. So what I really like about this lead, first of all, the Squawkabilly Intimidate does nothing because they're both special attackers, but also you don't know which one's going to set Tailwind. I've brought both of them as Tailwind setters this season. I've brought different types of offensive Swanna, offensive and defensive Moltres. So just looking at this, you have the Iron Thorns, which has a quad effective attack against this guy and a quad effective attack against this guy, but where are you aiming it?
And it does. You see the balloon there, so at least from your perspective, you're not too worried about a surprise.
There's no attack boost, booster energy, no speed boost, booster energy. So I know that my Moltres is gonna outspeed him, in the Tailwind.
Okay.
But I Terra Ground, expecting possibly a Thunderbolt, protect in case there's a Rock Slide. But yeah, this is the anti-Rock Slide or Thunderbolt.
We get the double Tailwind.
Double Tailwind, so Moltres no longer faster. I switch it out immediately because I expect Rock Slides coming here. And
Chilling Water for the attack lower and the balloon pop, very solid.
Yes, so something that's important to know is that also pretty much every one of my guys has some type of way to reduce attack. I've got Chilling Water here on the Swanna. I've got Iron Defense on the Iron Treads, as you see here.
There it comes.
Diplin here is about to set up Reflect.
With a really excellent sprite work done by our team at Pokemon Showdown.
Heck yeah! That's the gold. The gold Diplin is actually I think that's not a sprite.
No, it's like it's poorly. Never mind.
I think that was cut from the trailer
it
of
looks
the
like it was cut
of
from
the
a
DLC.
magazine.
Yeah, I think it was from the trailer for the Kitakami. What was that? Not the Indigo Disc. That was the second one. The first one. Teal Mask. There we go.
Draco Meteor into.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
We got the Moltres switch. Okay.
Terraflying because you expect ground move, but actually I'm
Slide.
just body pressing everything because my attack's been lowered 8 million times.
Yeah. I made that mistake a few times this draft. I tried to use my lowered stat and it was just like, no, keep throwing those presses out.
Yeah, it was revealed to me that
Frontier on Rock Slide.
It was yeah, I mean nothing
crit.
Literally nothing he has can kill this.
I agree with the crit fishing. It's tough position to be in to know your guys are not tossing out special attack.
Yeah. It was revealed to me that the Quark Drive defense doesn't boost body presses damage, actually.
Yeah, I was reading that and I was like, what? Why?
Yeah.
I'll just let someone else figure it out. Why think?
I don't mind keeping it Quark Drive defensive, though, just because like the defensive boost into the attackers is just good in general.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing it without a crit. It's just eternity that you'd have to be beating on the thing.
Yeah, exactly. This thing was out for 9 turns and took 18%.
Really soaking up that MVP bonus here.
Yeah, Iron Treads has definitely been my MVP this year. So then game 2. say I bring this exact same four because I'm like, well, that
Frowning friend.
until he can show me like how he can actually beat this, then I'm just gonna keep running it.
I think it's solid strat going into game two if you want to just say what's the plan, because then you get another chance
Yeah,
to throw back at him.
yeah. See, and then like, because yeah, if he has something, if he has a secret, he'll bust it out this time.
Hmm.
But
The secret was physically attacking, and we do see that burn come into play. Pretty nice protect into that braver when you're Terra Grass.
yep. But we're about to see his so yeah, he got chilling. He's been chilling watered, so he gets the reduced attack. So that's only going to deal 37.
Wow.
Again, full HP, full
That's a
defense
bold
investments.
Moltres.
Yeah. And
Yes,
then yeah, and then you get yeah. Casey was on one in this match.
I think it at some point it makes sends his regards.
Krenko is he's a goblin from a D&D campaign that killed an entire team that Tyler was in at a at a cabin retreat one time.
Oh, I can see that now. It's Kurenko up there top.
No, that's no.
Don't worry about it.
It's okay. These are all katakana names of characters from the Amazing Digital Circus, which is a show that Tyler and I like. Also, we like Smiling Friends, which is what his are named after. I did it in the Japanese way because I didn't know if he was also going to do Digital Circus, and I wanted to make sure to make it different.
I was worried about my match. There were Monster Hunter themed names. I was worried I was going to pick the same one for something that didn't quite match as well. It's tough, that naming convention.
You got to be careful.
More heat waves, more good safe heat waves to just really.
Yeah. I mean, I got a burn off on all four of the guys he brought.
Wow.
It was like Treads didn't even need to come out, but he will come out to
just looking
to mercifully execute this Gwimbly. Yeah. So down goes the champ. Won the last draft. Went 2-6 or 2-5, and 1-and-done in the playoffs. Or no. He won a play-in game. I'm pretty sure. Did he play a play-in game? I don't remember. Point is that hopefully he bounces back next season. All right. So those were the games. Let's take a look at the bracket standings. Next week we'll see the Zangoose Zinners play against BC Beyond. We'll see you play against Once a Peps. Looking forward to those. But for now, we're gonna look at the.
Oh, I have a full week to prep.
You have a full week to prep.
Oh, I was up against a wall.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah. The only matches that are due this week are the losers bracket ones.
Okay. I can focus my energy a little bit harder on that then.
Yes. So, let's start breaking down these matchups. So first here we have the Laguna Lagging Tails versus Ride on D's Nuts. So looking at this immediately, I'm going down the speed tiers. It looks like the Lagging Tails have some of the faster guys. I suspect, although I get like the fast guys are Espeon and Deden, who you don't want to see running into muck. Yeah, speed control options is really interesting. You could have Tailwind out of this Braviary, or maybe Gligar learns it, I think. And then on this side, you've got, speed control in the form of Klefki Thunder Waves, but also you could do Trick Room with Girafarig, which we haven't really seen Brantley do yet, but is always something that is possibly on the table. What do you think when you look at this matchup?
It's tough. Right on D's Nuts is one of the teams that 2-0'd me this season, and I really felt like I was going up against a wall. You got a solid core, and clearly not afraid to throw some defensive EVs and some HP on those guys. Really keep them out in time for the Tailwind with the Tropius. We saw some clever strategy with the huge Terrifier overheat every single game, every time it was out from Charizard. So it almost feels like you got to formulate a response to that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot to work against, because if you get too tunnel vision, you're going to start seeing that Alolan Muck. You don't want to throw too many weird accuracy moves on your team. You're fighting the fake outs with Do you know if Alolan Raichu learns Fake Out as well?
I don't believe it does, but I don't think
Ah, well
Alolan
then.
Raichu comes here. Like you've got with between Gastrodon and Gligar and like even like Thwacky. Like I don't know. I don't see a great avenue for Raichu to succeed here. Like it's a good Braviary answer, but you already have some a Braviary answer in Rampardos. Klefki beats Braviary. Um,
We
Blastoise with Ice Beam in I think like if it's bulky can duel with it, or if it's Shell Smash will kill it. I think this is another one where if I'm Brantley, I think this is just another one where I try and Shell Smash with Blastoise and rip it.
Yeah, it's a team that's good at ripping it
Mm-hmm.
because it has a lot of backup things you have to prepare for. Like not preparing for that prankster is kind of a death knell in some ways. So
Mm-hmm.
I think if we get like a level 3 or 4 irony stratagem from the Laguna Lagging Tails here, we could see a real judo throw based on your opponent's weight. We might see Brand come crashing in on themselves, but I don't know that strat because I'm not comfortable with this team yet. So I'm hoping to see it.
Yeah. Uh, usually Carter picks the six guys he thinks each team's bringing. So why don't you do the
Okay.
honors?
Oh, this is what in my nightmares every night. I think about the 6 my opponent's bringing.
Well, the good news is that you don't.
uh,
There's no consequences to you being wrong about it.
well, can I'd love to give you who I think is going to lead in game 1 for
Let's
each
see.
team.
All right. Let's do that. I like that.
I think we're going to see because that'll just really make them break their ankles a little bit further. I think we're
Mhm.
going to see a Hitmonlee Fake Out with Braviary from the Laguna Lagging Tails.
Just get that tailwind going. Yeah.
And I think we're gonna see a switch Giraffarig Swalot Trick Room play
Whoa,
from Right on D's Nuts.
that's interesting. I think that would be awesome. When I look at this team, when I look at this matchup, I and maybe this is just how I approach uh playing against players that I think are maybe like uh that have a better sense of like that play better than me. I guess I'm not. I don't want to like. I'm not here to. I'm not here
You're
to.
all good.
I don't know. Like I'm just trying to say. Like I think that Carter is. He's
I'm
more
with you
experienced.
there.
He's been playing longer.
There you go. More experience. That's easy enough.
He's got a higher seed. He has like he has wild concoctions, and I don't think like my approach to that sort of thing is not necessarily trying to outplay him as much as just outmuscle him. And I think that Right on These Nuts is set up to do that with just some really strong guys that match well into the other ones. Now, granted, you got to be careful not to get got on a Gastrodon switch that storm drains and just and ruins your day. But like that thing, that thing can die to the right move out of Blastoise. As well as everything else, Scizor just feels like dead weight in this match, but you want it in case you need a bullet punch to that Rampardos under Trick Room conditions. Although I guess you could have a Thwacky with Grassy Glide do something similar. But yeah, I would, I think the Drafarig Swalot play, I think that could work. But
It's really bringing your tier 4s into like a tier 1
yeah,
situation or tier 2. So maybe that's my grandmother was a seer, so we'll see.
but yeah, we will. Yes, I guess in that sense we're all seers because we're gonna see.
My grandmother was notorious for seeing the present.
Excellent. All right. Next we have Muck
Oh boy.
versus I'm gonna have to like last time. I'm gonna not talk too much about the matchup because I don't really want to. Because if I the longer I talk about it, the more likely it is that I'll accidentally give something away.
Play your hand, sure.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say that I'm sad that I have to go against Tinkaton, my favorite. Because I like Tinkaton. It's sad that I'm gonna have to put the hurt to it.
It's tough because the longer you bring that in, the more times you know it's going to do something sneaky, and Sam's team can really, the villains team can really take advantage of that with some of these This is another team where I really like what I'm seeing with the tier fours. Not every
Hmm.
team like I'm super prepared for them each match, but these are some that you gotta make sure to keep your eye on. They each have a purpose.
Hmm.
Some solid monotypes out of this team too, where you can't really hit them all that hard.
Yeah.
Yours, on the other hand, it does what it does well, and it feels like if they're able to kind of slip in a strategy underneath your chitin,
Hmm.
uh, we could kind of see a reversal of roles here because you typically are bringing some sort of huge muscle, and it's always tough to know if they're going to go for the reversal or if they're bringing their own muscle.
Yeah. Especially when that muscle takes the form of Komo, who's
Yeah,
just strong.
constant threat to your existence.
Yeah, just look at these stats. It's ridiculous stat distribution for this Chad of a Pokemon. Um,
But yeah, we don't have to go too far into it if you don't want to say what you're thinking. But uh, I will say I like these teams both quite a bit, and
yeah, I think I will. All I'll say is I think it. I definitely think it could go either way. And I have a hard time deciding who just on the raw paper matchup who I would favor here.
mhm.
Like this would be the kind of game that that if it was a regular season game and I wasn't in it, I would have done a breakdown with Carter on it.
I can tell you who you're going to lead because you as you know I do know the future.
Sure.
It's going to be just a crazy Miss Magius pseudo Woodo mix up. I'm not going to tell you what their moves are turn one like I did last time because
Sure.
it's going to be a big surprise. But it's going to be Tinkaton Fletchender from the Vancouver Villains on the other side. So now that you know that, you can prepare.
Well, I did bring weakness policy pseudo Wudo one time this week and he got 4 kills. So
Wow.
watch out for that, Sam. Watch out for the weakness policy pseudo Wudo. Okay. The next one on the bracket was Rose City Roserades versus the Karamja Whippers. Now, when if you're the Karamja Whippers, this is maybe not the matchup you thought you were going to be getting this week. Um, but the Rose City
Yeah.
Roserades were trounced by a cool guy.
The first life was taken, and now I've maybe you hear about how like the Yakuza are keeping in check the real crime, and I think maybe we're in a situation where the crime lord is about to find a new
Yeah.
breeding ground, as it were.
Yes. Um, yeah. James, as the commissioner, unfortunately, has the uh, has the disadvantage of everyone rooting against him this week because he's the commissioner, and you always want the commissioner to lose. Our friend Ben, who does our fantasy football league, knows that all too well. Um, but I I like the matchup for James here. The Kilowattrel just like plows through the non Flygon parts of this team, and it's your Tailwind setter, and it means that and it prevents uh, Torracat from coming in at all. So your Sceptile can be a little free. I
Not
think
seeing like too much electric coverage on the Karamja Whippers, so you don't really need to bring Volt Absorb into that for Kilowattrel. Able to bring that
yeah,
not competitive. Is it
it is
competitive?
competitive.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll bring competitive, which will keep Torracat at bay, which will protect Sceptile and Skarmory. Skarmory also just shuts down this Cobalion. You've got double intimidate. It really, I mean, it's gonna be tough for Mister Gobungle here. How do you think he can pull off the upset?
Yeah, it's tough because there's a lot to launch that Aura Sphere into that you want to,
Mm-hmm.
and the Rose City Rosaries know that pretty well. So it's tough to really land your mark with some of these bigger swings.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen the Karamja Whippers do really well in the past with like some good fake out play, solid coverage moves just every single turn. It's tough to have that coverage against, the electric mono type. Some of these, honestly, like the Dugong is tough.
That Dugong is
You
a
can't even
menace,
really safely aim a grass into it all the time, and
and it also has fake out.
yeah,
Yeah.
with priority, and it's just a big old mess. So I do see a lot of different avenues both can take here. So my
Mm-hmm.
grandmother doesn't really have too much advice, but I think we're gonna see maybe like a Dodrio and a
Mm.
Torracat. A little bit of threat on that side,
Mm-hmm.
and it's tough.
Excuse me.
It's tough not to go with the Dugong Sceptile on the other side.
It's a strong lead.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Now I am.
With threatening ice against those double weaknesses, kind of forcing a terrestrialization potentially, and you can
Yeah.
just follow that up with a fake out instead.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying that seeing the X factor here might be this Flygon. Um, Outside of Dugong, it matches pretty decently into a lot of these guys. And as we saw, it has a lot of interesting
Oh yeah,
coverage moves.
can go
It's
both sides of
it can
the
go yeah it can go both sides of the attacking spectrum. And of course, terastallization is always
yeah. Get
an
those big
important X
gnarly heat
factors.
waves. That'll be strong into Skarmory.
Yeah,
It's fire's not so amazing in the Jame, but like there's so much you can do. You can
yeah,
always toss out a few quakes, hope they hit their target.
yeah. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that match goes, and then the final match of the week, the final match that we're going to preview this week. I obviously don't know the order that these are going to happen. Is the Wet Ash Blissies versus the Molten Feather Berserkers. Wet Ash Blissies having an axe to grind, Molten Feather Berserkers having some wounds to lick. But you know, the powerhouse,
Okay, I like what I'm seeing here
yeah, the
actually.
powerhouse core of the Oricorio Lilligant dancing duo, with whoever in the back to finish off what got whittled down by the first two. And sometimes it's Decidueye, sometimes it's Braviary, sometimes it's Greninjas, oftentimes it's Pheasantipity. And then on this side, you just got again the raw muscle here: Slitherwing, Mimikyu, Magnezone not having any trap targets here, so you gotta imagine it's just gonna be raw analytic for big damage. And then Wugtrio actually not looking amazing here. This may be a no Wugtrio zone for the first time.
Yeah, I'd have to see the damage into like Bravey Heatwing and a few other targets there.
Mm-hmm.
It is tough because we've seen so much success from the Wet Ash Blissies, and it's kind of a very specific type of success with each Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what's coming to the table each match. Like very solid protect gameplay. You don't know what's coming each round,
Mm-hmm.
but I think if you're able to kind of tweak this Molten Feather Berserker team with some defensive EVs to live some of these key hits,
Yeah.
uh, key neutral hits potentially with the terrestrialization, you might be able to squeak out like a victory, like a strategic victory here, because there you typically know what's coming out of the other side each turn. But
Yeah. It's interesting because Molten Feather Berserkers, winners bracket side, eighth overall seed. Wet Ash Blissy's 10th overall seed, losers bracket side. Karate is like the Karate is technically it should technically be favored, but in my like if I was setting the line, the betting line, I would favor the Wet Ash Blissies, and let me tell you why. First impression. What eats
yeah,
first impression on this team? Pheasantipity, and that's it. Greninja, dead. Lilligant, dead. Braviary, dead. Decidueye,
yeah,
dead. Oricorio, not dead, but like that's it. Oricorio and Pheasantipity is the only one that are eating a first impression here. And
and a lot of
honestly,
those can't take the coverage moves like we've seen the electric from
yeah.
the past.
And honestly, with base 75 HP, base 70 defense, and likely no investment in either of those things, if you tear a bug, uh, booster energy attack,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Oricorio is surviving that
Yeah,
first impression.
that's definitely why I think we got to see some type of uh, item misdirection or
Yeah.
some type of.
But even then, like that's the thing is
It's
that
a
like
lot of to get
exactly
through.
you set up the gimmick and then you
Shatter.
invest all of this, you invest your Terra and your item and all of this and all this stuff, and then you get down the Slitherwing, and now Mimikyu's Swords Danced or
Yeah.
Magnezone is analytic choice specs like lightning or thunderbolting your whole fucking team. It's tough. It's tough, but so Karate's gonna have to pull out everything from the bird coop to win this matchup because it does seem like a tough matchup.
Okay, and for the lead, we're gonna see certainly a okay with the first impression. Yeah, I gotta go Pomo Pheasantipity.
Mm-hmm.
Really trying to shut down that early blow a hole in your team style. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if we need like some focus sash going on or other defensive Vs on those guys to live a key hit.
Mm-hmm.
I would run some calcs. But on the other side, surprise, you're going to see that Morpeko Wug Trio once more, and you're going to hope that you're able to one-shot whatever comes out and sees you, because you got a couple turns to make it work with Morpeko there.
Heck yeah. Yeah, just start firing off aura wheels, which also kind of matches pretty good into this team, depending on what turn it is.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right. Well, that's the matchups. Michael, any parting words of wisdoms for those facing elimination this week?
Um, if you're ever not sure about your 4 moves, just think about the conditions where you're going to use each one. And if it's not good enough, if you're not going to use it in enough scenarios, maybe you can cut it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Michael, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yes, thank you for having me and letting me sub in for our. I hope he gets better soon.
He's just working. He's not ill.
I think working is an illness.
That I think there's wisdom in that.
But yes, thank you for having me.
Give me an on-screen handshake. All right. We'll see y'all next week. Good luck on your matches.
Good luck.
Except you, Sam. I'm gonna kick your butt. Hang on. I can't. There's the butt.